So we're doing a combined arms game. So we've got 2 players on infantry, 1 player on cav, and 1 player with artillery. But the artillery player also has some infantry. You'll see that.
Mm-hmm.
And I am Milanofi03. I'm one of the infantry players.
You're the French
Sounds
here.
so
Everyone else can introduce themselves.
I'm
We played in
solitary.
the Netherlands as infantry.
I'm solitary cheese. I played the silly goofy Cav.
All right. Well, yeah, I'm Italy. I'm the artillery guy. Yep. And then the enemy players, we have we're facing the coalition. So we have Roni, I think, who's on the very right side. Well, from our perspective, and he is Britain and his infantry. Then we got to the left there, we have Austria, who is Hesse, and he is cavalry. Then we got Russia in the forest over here, Mikhail Kutsov, and that is
Byron.
Lord Byron. He's playing artillery. And then we got another general staff over here who's plain man, and here's the other infantry. So there's 2 UK infantry against a Netherlands and a France infantry. Yeah. Let's discuss what we discussed in the early game.
Okay. Well, the initial phase of the plan, I usually go for a strategy where I divide my cav equally. I believe it was 16 cav for 4v4. So usually I divide it like a 4-4-4, or well, not 4-4-4, but you get the gist. But this time I split it evenly with most of my cav covering the left and right flank with a single hussar going down the middle to scout, so artillery knew what was happening. No, don't get horse arty there. Don't get horse arty, because I'm literally sending 1 cav down the center.
Yeah, don't let it get caught.
That'll get caught. I'm literally the only reason I'm sending 1 cav down the center is scouting purposes. I know how Hess plays, so I'm stacking my cav on the flanks. Plus, it just makes the most sense. You guys always end up taking the center. There's no point for me to defend against cav in the center when you guys will have the center. Chris seemed to forget about this plan and sent artillery up the middle anyway, thinking I had cav. That almost fucked us.
Austria's getting a bit too comfortable. Checker, do you have anything? Oh, are you second or
Yes, I have no cav. I have no cav whatsoever.
In the
None
center?
at all.
No, where the fuck is
No.
his shit in the center, dude?
Dude, did you not hear the plan that I told all of you? Do you just not pay attention? Do you not pay
He was
attention?
not.
No.
He was not paying attention. I literally said
maneuver.
I am not going to dedicate much cav to the middle because that is unnecessary as you have artillery, or not artillery, infantry there. Then we said don't send your artillery up the middle because there won't be a whole lot of cav there. What does he proceed to do?
Chris, square.
And we had every intention of filling the middle hill. I'll let you guys describe your part.
From the beginning when we deployed, looking at the map, it seemed like it was going to be better to attack on our right side, because if we were to attack on our left side, it would kind of end up going up the hill, which will probably come into the battle later. But so I, as the French, deployed on the right to hopefully just kind of just blast through the flank and advance and break through there. That was my goal with my deployment.
Wow.
Oh, what's going on in the Orthodox
Let
Church?
the
It's
record
empty? They lied to us, guys. There's nothing in that church. There's nothing in that church. They lied to us.
Yeah, I, as Netherlands infantry, fully intended on holding down our left flank, basically letting France push them, and securing our 1-pointer to the center.
Very nice. Well, as Arty, I'm just supporting, so I just decided where the best hills were to our advantage, where I could cover the most ground, and just place where I thought was best. So yeah, a lot of weird places I kind of walked my stuff to, and then I had to kind of move it around a whole bunch because the enemy lined up differently, and I really didn't have clear vision on them. It's really cool.
Yep, and here's the first appearances.
I was about to say, if you look down the center, you're about to see the very first cav engagement. And terribly from it.
Yep.
Austrian hussars. So strong.
Well, French light isn't really good. It's hard to work with.
Pretty sure.
You know, when they get hit with my double attack columns right up their fucking ass.
Here with my double attack columns.
Respectfully, never do that again.
I'm gonna keep doing it, bitch.
So you can kind of see me as France making a mistake kind of from the beginning with my deployment, as I'm super spread out. I'm anticipating a way wider British front on this flank, so I'm spread way out and not as concentrated as I'll end up wanting to be, which slows things down later in the battle and that.
Yep. I think it comes down to the
Good
LOC, doesn't it? Because if you look on the mini map, we kind of thought they were going to go for the two closer LOCs, and that's where we really focused on. Yeah. And it turns
Yeah,
out
and they ended up.
Yeah, I think what they wanted to do was go for the 1-pointer along the right middle, and then push towards a 2-pointer in the up right of the mini map.
And there's the first cab engagement right there.
Yep. Yeah,
That's a
good.
clear defeat. I send in backup Hussars, they lose too. Honestly, like, one thing I don't like about the map right now is it's showing them as blue and me as red, so it's a little trippy. But it's, from the get-go, it's kind of looking like we have the advantage with cav-wise, but as we all know, they do have a cav on the right. But I feel like that's what really fucked them in the end, is that they concentrating on their cav didn't work out too well for them. Since I had the heavy cav advantage, I was able to just, I mean, Hesmelan, if you saw, I literally was able to go across the entire map on the right side without contacting anything. With like,
there was no, I had no issues with any sort of cav on my flanks or anything until like the very end of the game, and even then they moved off quickly.
And on the left over here, even despite them having artillery help, I'm still able to end up winning the cav engagement up there. Though it does take a while. The center, they are winning decisively, but you know, we have Italians and Austrian and Dutch forming squares, so kind of repelled them. Their morale was already low, walking tired.
Really rough cab engagements at the start.
You know, that's one problem I've always had with cab engagements in combined arms. They always seem to start off really slow and really like, or not really slow. They tend to like start off like a combustion. They just instantly go off, and then like all the cab is dead. So that's what I really enjoyed about this game, is that there was still cab like to the end game. I see it looks like the one to the left already.
You usually see like a huge cav engagement right at the very beginning. In normal 4v4 games, you'll have like decent cav use all throughout the match, usually, but luckily we got that in this game.
Yeah. Lasted a decent while. See, I sacrificed my, or not sacrificed, but instead of charging those 5th Radetzky Hussars, I decided to see if I could get the jump on those Hungarians, see if I could break them early, which worked out for me at the end. Since I had the Chevalier Guard, sending in my Hussars to back them up. This is where I seemed to get the advantage overall, because they had too much of their cav bunched up in one area, and I was able to swing in some 5e.
Then your mistake with your Lancers on the far left.
My mistake with my Lancers on the far left, yeah. I'm pretty sure my reserve Cuirassiers just stand in front of them, too.
Your reserve Cuirassiers hold up pretty well. It's pretty impressive that they managed to last as long as they did.
Oh, very. I was constantly looking to the right, expecting them to have cav appear over there, but there was literally nothing. So
now you can see where the Emperor's on the repairing now.
Yeah. I'm still surprised I end up winning the overall cav engagement over here. Like, it really looked like I was going to lose it instantly, but kind of pulled it out of pocket there, especially with those, what was it, those Mamluks Frances. So I was able to get the charge off on those Uhlans before they could get anything off on me, which allowed me to win the overarching fight. My reserves pulling back to Napoleon kind of saved them. I think that's what had them survive at the end of the day, to be honest, that I got Napoleon in there.
Oh
and I think it was that.
Cuirassier coming back down.
Yeah, I know. The reserve Cuirassier, dude, that is insane.
That,
Look at them retreat everything.
That was kind of sparked by, I think, some Russian friendly fire with the artillery hit the coalition cav and started to lose morale.
Yeah,
chased them down.
Yeah, and he slows down. See, that allows my reserve Cuirassier to catch up. He turned around, and that was really it at the end of the day, right there. Is that I was able to catch up. Though that still fucks up my reserve Cuirassier because they have 3 units coming in from the left, but I still have my Joaquin Mamluks and Hussars coming in from the right, slamming them in the back.
Yeah. Ultimately, you do catch all those lights.
Oh, yeah. It just takes me a while. But Napoleon, or not Napoleon, fucking the regiment and then Napoleon are finally pulling up. But I don't even know where Napoleon is right now. He was in the forest around now. Yeah, there he is, right there. He's pulling up behind the Italian artillery. He took his sweet time. He really moved as slow as he could possibly go. Don't know how I won this at the end of the day, but I guess it just came down to French cav being superior in the heavy cav area. Anything else? At least specifically on the left. That's why I put reserves and Joachim on the left. And then he moved his general right next to my, or not his general, he moved those Hussars. Like, I have 2 Hussars and Joachim right behind him. That's really the downfall of him. I think I get that 6-pounder. I don't remember.
So here I think you can kind of start to see the coalition plan start to form with their infantry 'cause they're massing a lot of it on their right flank, and you can also see with Solitary's cav moving forward on our right, they're not making any sort of deliberate deep push with their infantry on our right flank. So it's at this moment and basically until the end of the battle when I'm concentrating all my troops from my spread out deployment onto the British left and center.
See, right here is where I abandon the cav engagement because he has Emperor Zone Ulan's Austrian Zone and Emperor Zone Archduke coming in. I had to get out of there. So I won, but I didn't want to have it win and then lose instantly. I wanted to keep some cav defensive on the left, which turns out to be very beneficial for our left flank at the end of the day with the heavy cav still surviving, which you'll see later on. Turns into a very brutal fight, I can promise you.
Typical combined arms. That cav engagement would have ended up with the rest of your cav and the rest of his cav going into it, and all dying in the bottom of that valley. And then we just have cavless battle for the rest of the game.
Yeah, it really made it more fun, to be honest. Like, I really don't know what would. Oh god, they got some good cannon shots on you. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
you really were getting harassed by cav or artillery there. I don't think they hit Napoleon with some artillery, because I was wondering how he lost people.
Look, they have
didn't, like, get into any fight.
Well, the thing is, they have 72 pounds. They're playing Russia, so they can definitely. The limit is 3 howitzers, so they definitely have all 3. So the entire game, we had probably 3 10-pounders, or probably 2 10-pounders and a 20-pounder, maybe.
Especially, no, actually, I don't think they had all 3, because I only encountered 1 20-pounder. I didn't encounter like a 10-pounder.
Interesting.
At least not that I remember. I mean, maybe we'll have to see.
No, there is a 10-pounder. I'm looking at the size of the holes on the ground. I'm pretty sure there's some that are 10-pounder size.
Really, look in the back. That's when the hussars came back. That's when the hussars came back, and I never used them the rest of the battle. Dude, those hussars sit there the entire battle, and I still won the cav engagement. I had no idea those came back. Not a single bit.
Wow.
The issue is their hussars never did come back.
Yeah, their hussars. At least I don't believe so. Because the last of their cav is what you're about to see on the. Well, not about to see because it's going to take a while. But you'll see soon that the rest of their cav is what will be on the right flank, our right flank.
A large issue that really comes up later, especially with the British infantry on our far left, is that they only have general staff, at least for their cavalry player, and their far left British infantry. It really destroys them, especially on their charge against me.
Yeah, I think the only like decent general they have, and Ronnie seems to understand this, is Duke of Wellington. I think that's really about it.
They do have Kutsov with them too.
They do have Kutsov.
Yeah,
which
so they
makes
have
sense
one
for
that's
the
equivalent
artillery.
They have 2 of the best generals that each team can bring.
I was going to say, one thing about the British player on their left side, from the way we're facing, so Plain Man, he's coming down the hill with really, really thick lines, especially as Britain. As Britain, especially when you're moving, you can go 3, and when you're shooting, you can go 2 thin, you know?
Chris, did you put those chasseurs in the middle of the field? Like, were those meant to be there?
I was trying to move them, but I was so fixated. I think you can see on the left side, there's stuff happening, I think, towards the town center. And I was fixated on moving my artillery and stuff like that close range, and I didn't realize about my chasseurs on the left side. So almost lost them there.
Massacred.
No.
I mean,
they stayed for the whole game, I think. Well, almost.
You can kind of see Britain starting to commit to a little attack in the town, but they don't end up really actually fully going for it there, I don't think, until later.
Yep.
Yeah, they do some good damage to me, though.
Yeah, Britain was kind of winning the shootout against you the entire game, to be honest with you.
I was perpetually losing the shootout, but I was just I was gaining ground was the thing. I was moving closer and closer, but losing
That's
a lot of men.
Britain will almost always win unless you're playing Prussia as a shootout, because it's not even about their reloading skill or aiming. It's the morale. They have 9 morale. Most people, at least not that I can remember. Most nations in this game, except for maybe Bloomberg, have 9 morale in their infantry, which is crazy. Because I feel like the French would have more morale at the end of the day. Because correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure France was the big bad of the Napoleonic Wars.
There's a small chance that they were. And here I'm moving back my center to try and get behind the Italy players' skirmishers because I'm trying to hide from the rifle corps.
Yep.
But Italy seems to be dead set on not fighting them either.
Here's where I find his cav in the back right. Kind of just a stare content. Pretty sure I pull out of this because they have the 20-pounder start targeting my cav. and that scared the shit out of me. And I also didn't have Napoleon up there. This entire time, I'm purely just moving Napoleon to that flank to try and get him over there. Just right by
British
that
are
Italian.
beginning their attack uphill.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Plainman didn't take that too well. Like all he had to do was stand still, and he would have won against the Dutchman. Instead, he absolutely charged uphill. He doesn't do it yet.
Yeah,
It's
I
more
was
late
I
game.
was very very surprised that they even elected to try to attack over there in the first place. I really was.
Well, it was all
you
because
can
they were
see with
trying
my
to reach for the
deployment how
2-pointer.
convinced I was they were going to try to attack us
They
on our right.
they really should have tried in the town center. I feel like for right now, that's like that's our weakest position. The Dutch have two
Yeah.
rows of reinforcements on the left. You have the entire French army on the right. We have
Yeah,
a
way sprawled out.
ragtag band in the middle with very little reinforcements to cover it. They could have easily won a mass charge in the center and broke us completely.
Well,
Maybe not
Yeah,
what
they
the
could
Italians
have
three.
ordered that.
look at the
pounder right
British
there, but-
73rd Perthshire. Did you just see what happened to them?
Yeah, I
on
think
the- on
you
Plain
see
Man?
them with
Oh, dude. I
on
just
the
killed
right hand.
30 men with one shot.
Same with the 93rd Sunderland.
Yeah, they have whole howitzers targeting me right now. Look, I'm trying to wrap around them, but it's going to be really hard with the
Oh my
cav
God,
that
they
they have
have-
there.
Why do they have
That's
lined
good.
up troops like that? What is
Like-
Plain Man doing,
And
dude?
that's. Oh, you just hit the 88th too, behind the.
Oh, I just hit the
Yeah.
Perthshire again. Oh my goodness.
Your Arty does considerable damage as they're coming up the hill.
Yeah. It's doing
You
work.
almost hit. You almost hit the Russian artillery on countless occasions.
Yeah.
This battle was way less of a.
Counter Arty.
Counter Arty and more just a.
That's because
more
it's more historically
infantry
accurate.
death.
Because sometimes counter arty was a thing if one side decided to shoot the other side with counter arty. I mean, like,
Yeah,
you know.
it
But
would turn
otherwise,
into a duel more than like one-sided usually.
yeah, exactly.
See,
And then they
they-
realize, oh well, our guns are intended to kill men, so let's just aim at the
Yeah.
men. You know.
They forced
and I-
themselves. Oh, go ahead.
Just in my experience, it's worth it in the long run to just shoot the lines.
Mhm.
I rarely do counter battery unless it's the best target, pretty much.
I usually counter battery
Just
only
go for
because I have
maximum
such
damage.
bad luck with counter. I always have bad luck. Their artillery always hits my instant.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're gonna
definitely not
blame
the fact that they stacked our entire left side and
You're
just
gonna
kind of
blame it
stopped.
on the spawn zones. Guys, they're gonna spam it on the spawn zones.
What is
Alright,
wrong?
You done,
What are
Chris?
you saying?
What the fuck are you on?
What is this guy saying now?
What is this guy saying?
Oh no, we on the middle of your side of the battlefield. I think those 3 units of line infantry are just a bit too far behind the hill.
Yeah, I do eventually move them up. It's
Yep.
just because I was trying to hide from their Arty. At least they're letting your guns. Because you can see later on as my guard grenadiers that are sitting behind that line get absolutely demolished by their 2010s.
Yeah.
See,
But also drawing
They-
the British into a much closer engagement really, really screws them over.
this makes me want to play another combined arms battle now. The
Yeah.
the strategy they took, they
Yeah,
really
you see
forced
this.
themselves into a corner. Like if they had
Yeah, I
forced
mean-
themselves into a corner, they would have won it because it allowed us to punch
Oh,
up our
there it
troops
is.
and preserve morale. If
Yeah,
they
but
would've
from the
made
Definitely
us-
outset,
just
I'm-
directed against my guard grenadiers and flattened them from 210 to 161.
that you do move up to the tip of the hill, and then the British retreat. That was the worst thing they could have done. Is that they turned around. That gave you time to get off shots as they marched up the hill.
Yep.
That
And then
was
the
their
third
worst
guards,
mistake.
the third guards here really got absolutely demolished in that firefight.
Oh, you were shooting yourself in the back though with your guard grenadiers. They were shooting up the hill into the back of your units.
Damn, they've done work on your guard grenadiers back
Oh,
there.
that's my
And people
Marine
that-
battalion. I noticed it
The,
pretty quickly.
yeah, the guard grenadiers that just got hit by the howitzer also just got massacred.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah,
To the right
really.
of your general. Yeah, to the right of your general. They got. Oof.
Yeah, I took a brunt of the Russian Arty, if not all of it.
Dude, this close range fire is fucked up.
Yeah, this is
Mhm,
nasty.
That's why I wanted
This
them. I
fighting
wanted
is
them to get
brutal.
close.
You literally
Kind
like
of negates their shooting stats.
you can like hear each other
See,
talk.
play-
You know what I mean? That's how
play-
close you are.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Plainman could have won on your like rightmost flank. I think they charged right there. I think that's when I dedicate my reserve cuirassiers.
Yeah,
Or at
your
least here.
cav, you're scaring the Inspire on your cav is what won us this battle.
Mm-hmm.
You can see that their third guard is now, like, it's hit half and it's about to break.
They could have easily charged you right there and broken through without a second thought. I don't know why they didn't.
That was another issue I noticed with Plain Man. He seemed to have some of his elites on his front line getting shot. They weren't giving Inspire by the time that the melee really began because they were already gone.
I'm pretty sure you had the high ground. No, you didn't even get the high ground bonus. It's the surprise you won that.
Mm-hmm. It's really all on the cav and the generals that we had in the area.
You literally had one unit that had the high ground bonus on the far left.
Yeah.
I remember
Or,
I got
well,
my.
some units in
I
the
had
center,
to
too.
send over my elites and my general because you need to inspire along this flank here. Because I think they realized they could punch through because there were no reserves. And here they go for a charge,
Yep.
and then I have to pop
Yeah,
a
they
rally.
started.
This is where I started the countercharge in a minute.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this
Yeah,
whole
it's-
time we were. Their problem was here soon we just punch a hole through them, and that
Yeah,
is
if you
what
watch my guard
destroyed
grenadiers in
them.
a moment, they're gonna go for it.
Yep, see the Italian and then we coordinated this so well. The
Yeah.
Italian general right there, then the
Yep.
reserve cursors instantly moving.
Yep.
Yeah,
I'm pretty
my
sure I
sixth guard.
backcharged their units. Like I definitely backcharged your
Mhm.
units.
It didn't do
You know-
much damage, thankfully.
I think the reserve cuirassier. Oh, you shattered that unit as soon as they charged you, though, right there,
Yep.
which was perfect.
And then, yeah.
I think when you pop a rally near the reserve cuirassiers, they do their rally too. Whatever you did that as Italy with your general, Chris, my unit like had an orange circle appear around them.
Yeah,
like
for
they
some
did the
reason.
Rally.
Yeah, it's weird. It has to do with the fact that the reserve cuirassiers have like the rally icon on them, so it just
Yeah,
works
but it's
in
like
that way.
grayed out for
Yeah,
some
it's grayed
reason.
out, so you can't use it.
See, yeah, right here really fucks them. I'm pretty sure they keep shooting the back of their units, at least in some respects.
I gotta take
Mhm.
note.
Charge
I've been
down
seeing
as
it here and there, but Lord Byron with his Arty is accidentally shooting into the back of the British just because of the way the geography works. Even though he's trying to
Yeah.
hit
Yeah.
Netherlands, he keeps hitting the back of his troops just with unlucky hits.
Yeah, you have to be super careful with artillery because
Yeah.
the cone of fire is ridiculous. It can hit your men in so many spots. It's wild.
Yeah.
It's so easy
Whatever.
to friendly fire.
I was about to say, do you see my Italian Guard horse Arty and then the 12-pounder?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is at a really good angle that it can shoot over your troops, luckily enough.
Yeah.
It's really
Big
risky, but
hills.
it was worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is where I
is-
think he starts getting scared with his general Britain after we smashed through his front
Right.
line.
I don't think we
It's-
smashed through yet, because I'm pretty sure after this you say pull back your reserve, and I do, and then
Yeah.
I move over. Lucky.
Here it is, yeah, because I got hit by the 20-pounder directly in the center of the guard view. I
I've
thought they were
been
losing the melee.
and during that attack, I've just been continuously marching around and enveloping the British.
Yeah,
which
like that
they've not.
constant
They stood very briefly, and we had a shooting battle,
Oh,
but
here
they did
comes the
not.
cap
They just
engagement
kept
in the rear.
giving ground here.
Yeah, the big cap
Oh, yeah.
engagement coming up.
Oh yeah, they are. It is. Oh yeah, I think that's the second time around that I came and was just like, you know what, I'm tired of just waiting. Like I'm just gonna go for it because I have to do something about that artillery. Like I think that's like the discussion we were having is that 20-pounder just it needs to be done.
Oh, yeah, I remember
Yeah.
that.
That artillery
Yeah.
had to be dealt with.
He was
and, like,
screaming.
just-
You were screaming about that 20-pounder, dude.
Yeah, that 20-pounder
it's-
alone broke my best.
Well, melee
Like,
starts to develop
it
in the
literally just
pounding,
hit in the
so,
center
yeah.
where the reserve cuirassiers were. Like, look at that smoke. Like, it hit right there.
Mhm.
Just blasted some
Yeah.
British back too.
They're deadly accurate, and the British, for some reason, decide really not to go up against my lights and my line that stay on this hill. Back to the cab.
I didn't realize how much my reserves like stayed in the fight. Like, I didn't realize how much they actually like just chilled there. Like, they should have routed. They're so OP. Like, they go down to wavering so many times. They stay the entire battle.
Yeah, you got your cav engaging at the top of the map there, by the way.
Yeah, I'm waiting
Oh,
to
yeah,
see
the
what's
wide
going on with
flank.
that because they run back like 5 times, and so like it's like because I keep having to spot because what they were doing with their lancers is they kept swapping them so that they wouldn't face my lancers. Because whenever you go lancer on lancer, it's the best lancer wins. Whenever you charge a lancer,
Yeah.
you're really any heavy cab unless it's reserve or Joaquin. They're going
That's
to
an
win.
issue with Austria. They have no good lancers. They have some good heavy and amazing lights with their hussars, but their
See,
lancers are
and
pretty
this is
bad.
where I win the engagement. For him,
Yeah,
it was
his-
either get in there and have a chance of winning, or get in there and just run away and lose completely. Which he breaks my hussars, but
yeah.
I break him instantly on the
Oh,
right.
I
and
think a
I'm able
good
get
thing to
around.
note right now is if you look at the minimap, They are one long thin line. They have no reserves compared to us, where we have almost like a double, triple line.
Yeah, I have
It depends on where you're
a
looking.
very large amount of reserves just because my line has been continually shortening the whole entire battle. I mean, I'm starting to get to basically the extremity of where I advance up this hill because at this point I'm going up against British shooting uphill and some artillery they have on that ridge.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
this is just about as much as I wrap around until everything goes, until we win the battle at the very end.
See, I almost get their general right here. I almost get that Austrian general. Just paying attention just a little more. I would have had him if I would have moved those Hussards Frances that are currently back charging those Emperor Zone right now. But
Or maybe your Hussars that sat in the back of the map the entire game.
yeah, those just chilling back there. Clearly they weren't needed. But I charged.
Okay.
I remember I had to charge Napoleon all the way to the flank if he's on because my
Yep.
man just kept spam clicking him and was trying to get him.
Yeah.
And the fucking Napoleon bodyguard just kept turning around like, "Oh, I'll fight. Don't worry."
Just trying to get into the woods now, but you can see where the Russians are sending over their best to hide in the woods and try and hold off the engagement on their left.
Yeah, they sit up there and keep me from advancing up that hill, but their presence up there isn't as effective as effective as it would be if they just sent them at the Dutch.
That mostly successful
Really?
charge against the 20-pounder crew got them down to half, but eventually get back where they're going.
That's a 20-pounder dead. That's a dead 20-pounder. That's a dead 20-pounder.
fucking
That's a
Christ.
dead 20-pounder. That's a dead 20-pounder, maybe.
Bro's
That's
a
a dead
hero.
20-pounder. Maybe. That's maybe a dead 20-pounder. That's maybe a dead 20-pounder. That's maybe a dead 20-pounder. Maybe. I don't know, dude. I really don't know. It just escaped me.
I think that's kind of what saved me in my center, especially with the new melee that just sparked up there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What happened to my reserve cuirassiers? Did that go back? Yeah, they did.
Yeah, your reserve cuirassiers and Marat pretty much saved me in this battle. Their Inspire and their Scare was perfect.
Oh, yeah. And here comes the British trying to take advantage of that gap you have right there.
Yeah, I got my Italians to plug the gap, and they just cause havoc. My second, whatever you call them, I can't say that, regimentos.
Second Regiment.
El
What the hell were you gonna
Regimento.
say? What the hell were you
Second
gonna say?
Regimento
I'm
Granatieri
concerned now.
Difanteria.
He was gonna say
Fanteria.
something fucked up.
Nope.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure this is where I
Also,
charged.
our left is starting to crack.
Yeah,
You can see where their general staff isn't there, so it's not saving them anymore.
This is where I charged that 20-pounder.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
nearly got it.
Speaking of the British left, I was focusing my 4 guns on the top of the hill at the British left because I realized how weak they were. I just needed to do the shock damage. Yeah. So it was really good. We broke them on the left, and then we're breaking into the middle as well. So the British are like, oh shit, I have no reinforcements, I have nothing. Like, I have to... At this point, he should really be pulling back. I don't know why he's still
Speaking
in
of
it.
breaking on the flanks,
Yeah,
here
they-
comes my line break on the far right.
Damn
This
near
is
the
where it really
entire
goes
line.
down.
I think this is where I tell you you have to charge on the left all or nothing.
Yeah,
Like I'm
it
pretty
barely
sure I
works.
was like, I'm pretty sure I was like, 'cause it was after I got my cab around the back. Here's where we make the whole breakthrough. This is where I dedicate the reserve. I help you punch through that, and then I wrap around, and then I slam into the back of their general, and that's what allows us to like overall just decimate their flank. This spelled the beginning of the end for them. It looks like they're in the healthier position, but and they were, of course.
Their
But
lines were in a
they-
healthier position, but their morale was absolutely not.
Yeah.
Actually,
Like, 'cause
if
you can see on the
um,
left them losing the shootout.
if you look at the top of the hill over on our right flank with those Russians, I saw those guys coming and I immediately thought they were going for just a straight up downhill melee charge to just turn that
that
flank.
would've-
And I feel like if they would have actually tried to engage with those, because they're practically all elites, I think if they would have actually tried to engage with those men, it would have gone poorly for me. But they were just deterring me from going up there, and I think they just move them off eventually, anyways. But it was an empty threat.
And then the setup from the French cavalry finally getting behind their Arty for the rest of the game until the ending of melee.
See, what made me really
Yeah.
mad is that since their 20-pounder originally already targeted me, it just follows your units even if they're hidden. It just knows where they are in the forest. I don't have previously targeted. So they kind of get whittled down while they're in there, but they don't get routed. I end up getting their 20-pounder anyway, which kind of spells the end for their infantry support with artillery.
Yep.
Because the rest were just
Still-
straight bore cannons.
We're still beating them in the melee in our center with the Italians and the Dutch.
This is where
Yeah.
the breakthrough happens with my reserve cuirassiers.
Yep,
Does-
and then with the left side charge.
Yeah, the mass left side charge.
The one I almost lost.
Yeah, I genuinely believe if my reserves hadn't gotten that general, it would have been over right there.
Yeah, the reserves
have a
inspire on my
chance.
guys and scare on those really saved me.
Oh, see, I backcharged the British. I backcharged them before I charged over to
Yep.
you.
They never
I
formed
was-
square, so they couldn't really counter you. That
I
was
think
a
that
big
one
issue
unit that
with
formed
Blair.
square is what scared me away from that.
Mhm.
I was like, okay, that one's not in their charge right now, so they get the square bonus right now. Let's
And
see,
here
look,
comes
and
the
then they
break.
charge uphill. That's what fucks them. If they would have shot you as you charged down, then you would have definitely been fucked. But they marched forward.
Yeah, counter charge.
Yep.
It fucked them. All they had to do was shoot you while you went.
Yep, and here comes the complete evaporation of the British right.
Mm-hmm.
And with
See
this
that?
line, there it goes.
If you hold down space, you can see every move.
I'm sending my
Yes.
general too. No,
The
got the
fucking
Chris
map.
on the left. Fuck's sake. It's like, where else? Okay, fuck it. I've just lost everything over on my left, unless I break these foot
His
battalions.
general broke. His 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 general shattered.
All
His
right,
general shattered.
rear
I'm
charge,
charging the
rear
back of the
charge.
unit. I am. I'm charging the back of the units that you're engaging. He's not
Alright.
squaring either. He's not squaring either.
Yes,
Oh,
all right,
fuck
that's
yeah.
general. That's gonna be mass route. That's gonna be a mass route.
That's a mass route. That's hands down a mass route.
Yeah, now we kind of have free reign over the valley outside. They're already kind of destroying us here and there. But apart from that, we sort of just reform back up and start moving to our right to help punch.
All I needed your units to do was distract them so I could get that general.
Mm-hmm.
And you almost completely routed right there. Like, that was almost terrible. Actually,
What-
most of your
your
units
captain's
too.
Yeah, they did
Yeah.
route. A lot of them routed. It was pretty
Mhm.
even
Yeah,
up
like
until
three
the
of them.
cuirassiers came through.
3 of them do.
Yeah,
almost
no
instantly. But then the Inspire kicks in right there,
Yeah.
and then I get the general. He routes before I even reach him, and then I back charge all the units you're engaging, and that really ended them. That really ended the overall fight right there. Because that's where
Because this part's going to be edited out. I just wanted to say, FYI, I'm going to be
Oh, sure.
snipping in bits of our IRL,
That's okay.
the live stream, the live cut. Do you get what I mean?
The
Fair
fourth
enough.
wall.
Yeah.
because there's moments where we
Yeah,
just
especially
be
the 20
quiet.
pounder where you're screaming, I got the 20 pounder, I got the 20 pounder, I got the 20 pounder.
Yeah,
So
we're
at this
gonna-
point, I feel like our biggest threat is the British kind of trying to wrap around my left flank, just because how they kind of managed to split between the Netherlands and I, because I didn't really have almost any reserves in the center there, and they're starting to wrap around, but I'm doing the same to them on their left, so it's kind of insignificant.
Yeah. And you still have some thick lines.
Oh
the
yeah.
amount of Russians that were on the right was really deceptive because there's like 50 of them for us.
Yeah. Here comes that United Kingdom trying to push down to get within
Oh.
firing range.
Mm.
I see it now.
Here
Yeah.
comes
they
me going for that.
pushed to start to engage.
Oh,
Here
yep, the
comes-
cav engagement on the Russian Arty.
Yeah. They didn't try. They canistered too early. Like you'll see, they canistered way too early. My units matrix that bitch. They said, "Oh,"
Mhm.
and then I'm pretty sure I try and wrap my lancers around to get that 6-pounder. Pretty sure that fails brutally, but
Mm-hmm.
I went for it anyway.
Russian square gets you.
Ooh, that canister
Something like
just
that.
missed on the 20 pounder.
That 20-pounder had so many chevrons; it was gonna be damaged. Like it had
Yeah.
to die.
It really was.
I think I've been looking at the map, and I'm pretty sure at no point in this battle were we losing LOC.
No,
No,
I don't think we were ever in threat of losing
They-
that.
They abandoned the entire left side of the minimap if you're looking at
We-
it. So the entire time we had their rear left 2-pointer.
Yeah,
we-
that's really interesting that they didn't
we
go for those
would've
still.
been- We would have been in threat if we didn't charge the British on the left. To be honest.
Yeah, damn.
Because then they would have,
Mhm.
because then they would have had wrapping power around us. But other than that, like,
Oh, I don't remember this charge. Your charge against the British Fusiliers.
I remember a little
Oh, yeah.
bit, but it was a bit too far
Oh,
uphill.
yeah.
They were very tired by the time they connected to them, you know?
Yeah,
They got
I
up so much.
figured I saw Netherlands coming, and I saw the state of my lines on the left, and I figured that might be the best thing to do to just buy time
Mm.
instead of just
Oh.
letting them outshoot me. Just get up into an engagement at some point.
Fair enough.
And I had
Yeah.
I had 2 units to his 1 at that particular point in the line, which I just saw, and I was like, oh, I'll do that.
I forgot fucking we sacrificed his general. They're trying to get Nuke of Wellington.
Kill all of 4 men before that goes well.
I almost had my cabin there too. We should
Yeah,
have coordinated that.
It works to scare him away.
Yep.
His left flank starts to collapse a little bit.
No, I'm pretty sure here I charged
I love-
Raheem in reserve into his right flank. That as
Yep,
his
this really.
he goes on.
Yeah, his
Try
Dutch and his foot get absolutely annihilated by my elites in this little portion of my army.
And then
It's 2 units of Marines and the Dutch.
The Russians,
working.
yeah, failed melee charge, but it did enough. Dutch have arrived. Another melee charge on the rest of the British over there, and the Russians have fallen back even further up onto the hill. It's just been continuously falling back, even off the stronger position. It seemed like.
See, we did a lot of like hopeless charges with infantry. Like Milan, if your charge on the left seemed like so hopeless, but
It was another one where it was like, here comes the Italians and the Dutch. I'll melee them rather than stand there and get shot.
Yep.
And then we like begged Chris to charge in the Italians.
Yeah, I was so late on everything. I was so distracted microing my arty the entire
We were
game.
begging him, like if you hold down space, you can see he's just moving the units to a spot. He's not even charging. Like, Chris, charge in, dude.
And then just chilling. I'm just chilling. I'm going for a really late charge. It's alright.
Going in for a chargy charge?
Yeah.
I'm charging
Chris,
late.
let me hold this.
I'm
You push
charging
over
it
to the
late.
right. Your light's fucking on.
Late to the fucking party.
Yeah,
I mean,
the Marines make it in there.
regardless.
Yeah, my Marines make it in there with your elite cav. Well, the 4 elites together really destroy them.
There we go.
It's
After you retreat,
very
I
brutal.
charge.
Way too
He's
late.
like, oh, there goes the French. Now I go. Dude, not the Italians pushing back entire British infantry with that charge, dude. Like, literally displaced them.
Yeah, I have this melee seemed pretty hopeless here, but then I sent in the middle guard and I have my general there and more Italians coming up, the Volite Grenadiers, and that turned the messy little melee.
Charging was our best friend. If we tried to win the shootout, we would have lost LOC.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We kept trying to shoot uphill. Even, I mean, you're gonna see some of my units still bright because I'm just standing here shooting the British, waiting for.
But it worked
Others
because it
to
would have
arrive.
them down and allowed for a charge to work.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
they're down to 120, 153, 144. You know, the crazy thing is these are normal unit sizes in like standard Napoleonic Wars battles, like vanilla. So like the game would have been over by now. It's always baffles me, dude. Like imagine doing the stuff with the vanilla. Like, jeez.
Yeah, battles
just-
go much faster in that game.
And then the Russians still just stand here and get shot for a long time,
The Marat
and
rear
then
charge
eventually end
against
up
the British.
charging. But
Oh yeah.
I think you hit the
Marat
first guards directly.
Dude, the Marat had 9 out of 80
9
people left
man
and was still
cavalry,
alive.
yeah.
Like look at how much chevrons he had.
Yeah, it got
That
8 now.
star, he had
Oh,
way
he
too
had-
many chevrons. He was,
He has morale on par with generals, so
and then
Yeah.
where's the reserve?
He
Because
was
I
a
know they
general.
did a route. My reserve cuirassiers never routed that entire.
yeah,
time.
they're by
At
the
least-
Italian general right now.
Yeah, and they have even more. They have even more chevrons than Marat right now.
Even more units.
And 22 out of 160, like they shouldn't be there anymore. I'm pretty sure it's either Marat or the reserve cuirassiers that get like the 2 cannons that are in the forest, so you can see their smoke. The cav kind of just had free reign at the end of the day. Like I still have like 3 cav behind the Russians in the back, forcing them to square. So Milan, if you can move up.
see a bunch of random units I had that came back from melees all behind my lines. They're all just spread out back there. I didn't notice.
Oh yeah,
And then casual hussars in the back that probably would have been very useful.
they probably would have saved us at many points.
Dude, they
thing we didn't
got a
need
vacation. They got a vacation, bro. They got such a vacation.
They were just listening to the ambient sounds of gunfire.
See, it would have been even more fucked up if the case was we had no cav left and they had like 1 more cav that was going after a cannon, and all we needed was 1 cav to counter them.
Huh.
And lo and
Yep.
behold, there was a hussar unit back there. But nope, that wasn't the case. They had no cav, and I still had like 5. So
Yep, and here you go in on the Duke of Wellington. I think this is where you finally break them.
Oh,
yeah, he gets scared before I even reach him.
I
Yeah.
think 3 of my units just got routed by a howitzer.
Oh, that's right.
Airburst.
Yep. And then there's
Yeah,
the
you
6
put
I
on
pounder.
the
think I
already.
just watched that happen.
Where's
And then
this?
another 6-pounder. Wait for it.
Yeah, Wellington routes before I even get to him. 4 out of 40. Like it was kind of
Mhm.
doomed. Yeah. Scared. Well, he doesn't even get the scare, but like the buff yet. He doesn't get scared at all. Actually,
That's right.
Yep,
he
just
just
run.
he just routes
out.
from running because he was running. Yeah. And then I had another 6-pounder. He really said dip potato chip. Runs right towards the cav he was running from. Pretty sure
There
he
you go,
gets
the
shredded.
Russian
Uses the
melee
Russian Arty as
charge.
sacrifice.
Oh yeah, here go the Russians. Are desperate.
I'm pretty sure
yeah.
I back charged them, and then
I
here come
start
my
to
3
retreat.
cav.
And it's like, oh, what's the point?
Dude, look how epic that looks. Just cav running out of the forest. That's some Lord of the Rings shit.
Isn't it here where the British line actually catches you?
This square,
This
I
is
charge 1 unit into them to slow them down so that they don't shoot my other cav. The cav
Oh,
that
yeah,
charged
your
the
lancers.
Russians, damn near. I think they damn near survive. I think I lose them at the end of the day. I think the only things that survive is the reserve cuirassiers and fucking. I don't
You
even
can
know
see
if
the,
survives.
You can see the Austrian general staff sneaking its way around behind us.
Oh, I remember that.
Going for
Stop
the
using the
artillery.
Yeah.
This
Oh, Joaquin
dude.
does survive. He charges the Russian general, actually. No, the reserve cuirassiers charge the Russian general.
Nerd.
This has been a hell of a game. Also, Chris, your fucking 7-pounder howitzers over on the left center-ish are about to get charged out by the general staff.
Is it from behind?
It's Hess.
Vive
Yeah, behind.
On the rush who
And
goes
then he
for
escapes.
full counter
Exhausted,
melee
but they still
charge here.
charge.
Look at him spam click. Look at him spam click away. He had to
Well, he's
spam click out of
terrified.
that.
Oh yeah,
the
you
cavalry
drive.
charge.
You drive his general out of there, and then once my general's over, there's not really a chance of them winning that melee.
The British,
Yeah.
see, the British, all the British had to
General
do
on
was stay
one side.
squared. All they had to do was stay squared. They probably would have had me.
The British,
Yeah,
all the British had
reserve.
to do was on my flank was to just stand and make me actually attack them instead of just letting me advance.
Back charge the Russians too.
They
back
start
charge the
retreating away from you.
the reserve cuirassiers have 16 cap left and they're still confident. Like, what the hell? What is the... And Joaquin's still alive with 8 cav. That
There's
was
the
so
full.
stupid.
Okay.
Well, it's just the amount of
Oh, the
morale that they
Russians.
have for ships.
The Russians go
I-
Yeah,
for
the
it.
Russians walked closer and paused and
I charged Mikhail like the entire rest of the game. Like, I chased him the entire game. I eventually catch him. But oh, there goes the reserves. Shattered, finally.
Oh,
After
so
having
sad to see.
11 left. But they routed the rest of the Russians, so that's all that really was needed. They didn't
did their
need to survive
job.
the whole game. They did their job, and then they ran away, 11 of them, ahead of 160. God, imagine
Their
being 11 of
Cuirassier regiment is
160 to return
trucking.
home. Like, I'd be so sad. I'd really just give up at that point. Oh,
Wow.
route the British who weren't squared.
Mhm.
My last 2 heavies.
And then the
got
Grenadier
disappointments.
Battalion firing on the other Grenadier
Last
battalions.
of
from
my-
Russia.
rough cleanup.
And then I just chased Mikhail like the rest of the game.
Yeah, you have scattered cav just all over the place going after.
They were
was
doing
pretty
the work, dude. They were doing work. They were going after
crazy.
everything they could. They were doing everything they could to just make sure everything was dead. And we still have like a ton of reinforcements on. Like, look at all the Dutch that are just still chilling in the forest on the left. Line infantry
we've got-
battalion. It's 2
We've
Italian
got plenty
cav.
of troops here.
Like, they could have theoretically held the hill.
Yeah, that was there solely to protect the army.
Oh, and then there goes the Russian or the Austrian general staff. That was his last
Oh,
little
yeah.
cav hurrah.
Oh yeah.
No. I swear and he runs away from this.
No, he charges. I think he charges like my grenadiers or something, and I don't notice.
He
Yeah,
it.
clicked
Actually
your
routes
artillery.
them.
He didn't. He clicked your artillery, but no, you clicked him with. Chris targeted him with his artillery.
Yeah, I
actually.
decided to fuck it. Direct
Looking
target.
at that,
Chris
I was
caught
holding-
cheating.
I was holding space.
Ooh,
was holding-
ooh, 2 shots so close.
Air burst.
I was holding space, and I was looking at that. I was like, "Wait a minute! I don't think I can see where they're attacking. What is that red arrow?" I was like, That's
Oh, wait,
Chris.
if you look at the Chris's Veil Guard, they get popped. Oh, yeah, they got popped directly by canister.
Trailer just dropped, bro.
Don't worry,
Oh,
my dad
no.
works for my dad works for the Department of Defense. He tells me.
I mean, honestly, as soon as Iran was like, "We found all this lithium, guys."
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Like,
shit. The fucking largest lithium deposit on fucking
Oh,
planet found by
my.
Iran.
That
like,
fucking
like,
Grenadier
like,
canister.
yes.
Oh yeah, that's a bit rough.
It touched its
Oh,
battery, absolutely
I
crushes
charged
them.
this. I charged the 6-pounder.
Yeah, they're the Austrians charging my grenadiers.
Yeah, we
This-
finally cleaned up all this Russian Arty, and I'm so happy about it.
And then Mikhail keeps running away. Oh, and then he finally routes.
Mm-hmm.
The Russians
Such a
take
long
forever
rest.
to kill, but
I'm pretty sure I still
Yeah.
charge. Yeah,
grind
I
them down
charged
eventually.
I
Yeah,
charged
it's a
them.
Russian melee force, and they got elites with them still, so.
Yeah.
you
They just
expect.
kept going.
They almost get my general here. They sneak out of the melee going for my
Oh,
general.
Wait,
Yeah,
where's
they-
the-
Yeah, they actually do. Look at them.
Like,
The Kiev Grenadiers. Like,
I
fucking
catch
go,
it like
go,
perfectly too. Yeah, like
Zone
right
back these
there.
like-
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
fuck.
they got the bayonet on them.
2 feet away.
go. Fuck, the Russians.
Oops.
No, Jean-Baptiste really said, "Can't get me, can't get me." No.
And they just kind of wheel and go for the French rear.
Whoa, look at him go. They're so angry.
That made him so. That had to make him so bad.
You thought he had
yeah.
a chance.
Still don't like that the map is showing us as red and them as blue. 'Cause, like,
I think I
we
like
were
the color scheme.
Bad.
we were the
Fits
good
me.
guys, obviously.
We're the good guys.
We were the good
We
guys.
slaughtered
Really
them.
When the faction called the Empire.
We were the look. They're not called the Rebellion, so like, it's okay.
Oh, friendly
They're
fire.
just-
Honestly, it's a coalition. It's not fair.
yeah, they're called the
Well,
Coalition.
makes it through this entire game with 7 minutes at the end. Dang.
Bro,
and
these
unless I
lines
checked,
on the left, like
Coalition
these
for
body
Arizona.
lines, are some of the thickest I've ever seen, just in like one spot. Like you guys,
Yeah.
that
Alright,
was
I'm gonna pause it before the battle
crazy.
ends, real quick.
It's such a
I'm looking at
deep
battle lines.
contrast from
Everyone pause
from
now.
my
I'm
side, where they're just so spread out, advance all the way. That was just all the action took place in one chunk. For
Yep.
Yeah,
As soon
failed
as
to
you
pause.
said, as soon as you said pause, like the victory screen popped up. So
I'm
Exactly.
paused. I'm paused right now. I got the whole death scene. So, do you guys want to discuss the dead battlefield real quick?
Absolutely.
yeah, I
got the
can't
statistics
because I have the victory screen, but
Yeah.
I
I'll
mean,
look at
mostly
it
you can
from the side.
see the whole nature of the fight,
think-
just how it was just a big stalwart defense on the left, and I was just continuously moving on the right.
It was
It
a
looks
defense
sort of
until it was an offense.
Yeah,
it looks
exactly.
sort of like borders
we broke
until
the
you get to the
defense.
town. Whenever you're looking at the left, you can see the exact, like to the
Yeah.
T, the detail of what line was fighting what, and then you get more towards the town, and it's more like just
Yeah.
it didn't look like there was any coherency. It looked like it was just constant. I move and I get shot, and then
Yeah.
on the right, it kind of stiffens out a little bit. And,
Until you get to the hill where it's just a giant melee.
Yeah,
again.
that's where everything actually
uh,
happened.
Imagine just trampling over mass bodies like in these wars. Like
Horrifying.
Napoleonic wars must have been like so. Like we talk about World War One and World War Two and shit, but imagine being ordered to just stand still in columns while you get shot at. Like that's like at least in other wars we were like, hey guys, you know bullets. Yeah, you're not supposed to stand in front of those. Maybe you should like take cover.
Mm.
No, none of the Napoleonic wars. They just stood
Yeah,
there
but
and was
from,
like,
like-
shoot me.
And like the period where it's like actually artillery starts to get accurate and deadly, and like basically from the Napoleonic Wars through World War One was like the most just insane area of war to me.
Yeah.
POV
The
American
era,
Civil
the era
War.
of just full frontal assaults.
That reminds me, I'm gonna link an article to like how they cleaned up the battlefields after the Napoleonic Wars. It's really interesting, like kind of what happened to the battlefields in general. Because you know, there's still to this day we can dig up around Waterloo and we still find evidence
Oh,
of the
yeah.
battle. It's insane. But yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm in the victory screen now. Do you just want to run over like the numbers and everything like that?
Yeah, you
I don't see
can
why not.
you can see on with my kills, I lost a lot of men. I did not have a positive KD, but I was just good.
Same.
That's because I was moving and the British were shooting me as I moved. I didn't have a opportunity to earn it back.
Yeah, wow.
the
Yeah,
nature
it seems
of the-
to be the
the
gist
battle.
of the infantry.
I'm
Yeah.
looking, and it looks like the only people that had positive KDs were me, Checker, and Byron.
Yeah.
The Arty usually has, yeah. Arty usually has a
But
positive. Yeah.
The fact that he's less than 300, like, he lost a lot of his infantry very
Yeah.
brutally. But
Oh, yeah.
I think it kind of comes down to that. Whenever your side is losing, the artillery player is very much forced to take a more active role in the infantry aspect of things. Like, if Byron would have committed more of his infantry, he probably would have been able to downcharge Milan.
Yeah, that was really interesting to me how he had him. Well, if he had committed him against against the Dutch, that would have gone very differently over there.
Yeah.
And if he just had committed him in the first place until the end of the battle when it didn't mean anything.
I think to add on to that for both of you, a really good thing for him to do would have been to mimic what I was doing, where I basically spread all my infantry, because we changed the infantry where instead of just taking one elite and like 9 other infantry, it was now 10 of any infantry. So you can take pretty much all elites. The intention is to take all elites to inspire and fill in those little gaps where we need it, because we would have lost the battle on the Dutch side so easily if we didn't have all those extra units come in at all those random gaps to kind of plug the inspire, you know? So yeah, because if he did that for the British, it would have worked in reverse, you know? And it would have been a struggle for us to fight the British because they wouldn't have broken it as easily.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only thing that really granted me a positive KD was compared to other battles with how I played my cav, I was much more conservative.
Yep.
Mr. Chris. And I was also much more like I moved a lot more than they did. Like whenever it came down to my thing was about patience. They started off their cav with instantly like charging my hussars, getting these little victories here and there.
Yeah.
And I waited for the bigger picture. Like on the right, I didn't engage till I had Napoleon. On the left, I didn't fully commit my reserves till I knew Napoleon was going to be able to support them. Because the last time I engaged my reserves without Napoleon, they died to 2 hussars, which was embarrassing.
Yeah.
So it was really all about adapting. Like my cav, even when I was down to 11 and 8 cav in each thing, I was still backcharging the British, backcharging everywhere I could to try and get us these little victories, like the 20-pounder and those other 6-pounders. I feel like that really allowed us to uphill that battle over there.
Definitely.
You've really
The
got
way
your
you
work.
used your elites saved me.
Yeah.
Just with the inspire and the scare against their infantry without actually engaging them in combat, just their passive effects really destroyed them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot more cav on infantry action in other games. Like it's funny to say, but a lot more actual like combined arms action with coordinated
wasn't it?
cavalry and infantry. Because
Yeah.
usually it just develops into kind of separate fights.
Yeah.
But not really there.
This was really integrated. There was lots of even arty against infantry, especially towards the town center. I didn't highlight it in the video because I was so focused on the flanks. But there were moments where I lost, I think, a 3-pounder and a 6-pounder to the British infantry just constantly charging it, not letting me get canister off or anything. It was crazy. It's really good.
Yeah, they were going after those guns, and then towards the end of the battle, when I was wrapping around the flank, I couldn't push straight up that hill because they also had cannons that were spreading me as I got closer.
Yeah.
At a certain point, I even think I might have gotten close enough where the cannons were hitting the British. I think because it was Russian artillery, it was less coordinated, but I would have gotten grape shotted on the uphill. So really, until we had the overall numbers advantage around them, I couldn't do very much there.
Yeah. Well. All right. Well, do we want to end that there? Thank you, everyone.
Yes.
Yes.
Say
Yeah.
Say your goodbyes.
goodbye.
Bye.
Adios.
All right. Enjoy. Bye-bye.